Beaconsfield, and Dan, that was very much a game of two halves. What did you say at half time that got them coming out so firing, basically?
I think a lot of it was down to the boys. That we knew that the first half was going to be tough, and that was a bit of a deliberate decision that we wanted to go against the wind, which played a massive part in it. I mean, all the tactics in the world kind of go out the window when that wind is swirling, and it's more about the reaction to the second ball and making poor passes, good passes. And I think we didn't necessarily play the conditions particularly well the first half, but the second half obviously suited us. And I think in that moment, when you compare the two halves, I think we I know not necessarily in terms of the overall result, because obviously we won either half 1-0, but I think we certainly made the most of the win with. And again, it's another one of those games where we come away from going, how have we not won it? Which is a good in a sense, because it means we're still playing positively, and I am positive about the performance. It was a good one. First half was a little bit toothless is probably the word. We were playing in congested areas where I think in that moment we just needed to play in the final third and maybe play a little longer. And the second half, to be fair, I judge teams on the ability to create chances, the ability to limit chances, and also making the right decisions as often as humanly possible. And for the large part, we did that. So there's not a lot to grumble about second half, but you're absolutely right. It was certainly a game of two of them.
Right at the end, Billy Upton's had a very good chance and not managed to put it in. Were you up and celebrating for that?
Honest to God, I mean, the key, it's come off the keeper's heel, then hit the crossbar, and then hit the inside of the post. And it's literally the last kick of the game. And it could have been such a moment. But to be, as I said to the boys, there's some times where you grumble about missed opportunities, but the opportunities we created today, they were throwing their bodies at them. You know, it wasn't ones where we've made the wrong decision or the wrong choice in front of goal. It was boys putting their bodies on the line and trying their best to end off what was a fantastic cross in that situation. But yeah, how the keeper has managed to keep that out is beyond me, whether he knew what he was doing or not. But good keepers are largely judged on their positioning, and he was in the right place at the right time. But Billy will be disappointed, but again, the way the ball came in and what he's done with it, you couldn't really ask for much more.
There was a slightly contentious red card in the second half for the Beaconsfield player. It was over sort of on that side of the pitch. What was your view of it?
I mean, A, I had no view of it, but B, I don't really know what view there was to have. I mean, there was no moment, there was no flash moment. Hodges has got up, he's got up. There seemed to be a bit of an understanding, kind of pats on the back and stuff, but nothing that I thought was going to generate a red. And I know John, their manager's disappointed with it, and as probably rightly should be. And I haven't spoken to Hodges about it, but based on his reaction, I don't think there was much in it. So yeah, I don't really know. And from us, it almost makes life harder for you, because 11 v 11, there's more of an impetus of them going forward, and when they go to 10. They have to sit back a little bit, so it probably made our life a little bit harder, sadly. But yeah, I don't know is the honest answer, and sadly, VO yet again has not worked. That piece of rubbish at the minute, it needs to sort itself out. So we're having conversations about that. But yeah, hopefully they can ask the referee and see what he saw.
If you take the 90 minutes in its entirety, then do you put it down as another game where you've got a point and could and should have had more?
I think so. When you look at across the 90 minutes, again, I think we didn't do enough in the first half. I think you go in at 0-0, you please, you say that's a good result with the conditions. You hear managers say that a lot, getting at 0-0 when the pitch is difficult or the wind's difficult or the environment is difficult and the conditions. And we were disappointed with the goal because it was everything that we said we wouldn't do. We were playing in congested areas. We tried skipping through 2 or 3 players. We've given the ball away, not got close enough to the cross, and we've not picked the ball up. But that said, when you look at the reaction and the quality of the second half, we've not been angsty. We've not rushed things. We've, as I said before, done as many of the right things as humanly possible. We stretched them when they had 10. We tried getting the ball out wide. So in terms of everything that I can ask of the boys, they've largely done it. So there'll be some regret in terms of what could have been on both games this week. We could have quite realistically been walking away with 6 points, and I don't think there'll be many turn heads in terms of the overall performances. But we've come away with 2 and we're undefeated in 2, and comparatively to what we were 2-3 weeks ago, that's a positive step.
And injuries again, Michael Atkinson's turn this time. Was that a hamstring issue for him?
Yeah, it's a bad one. We need to get it looked at. It's not the one that he's had before. Whether that is a good or a bad thing, I'm yet to detail. Sean is having a look at him now to see the early signs of what it is, but he certainly won't see the next 2-3 weeks, and we'll be lucky to have him kind of mid-January, I think. And obviously when you add in Cookie, Louise, Dunny, Acco now, that's pretty much the entire midfield. The only player I have available now is DeAndre Brown in terms of a recognisable midfielder. So we might have to do some work this week in terms of 7-day approaches and speaking to players. We actually had one lined up, which we were disappointed not to get. He ended up joining a step 2 side. So we're certainly picking out the right players. It's just trying to get them across the line. But it might be loan system. It might be trying to get someone on a permanent. But yes, yet again, we missed Ferdinand today massively. We missed Dan Rowe massively. There's some important bodies out there, and Michael quite rightly won the Player of the Month. So to lose him at any stage of the season is a bad one, particularly going into the second half of the season. But we've been in this situation for quite some time now, so it doesn't feel new, and we'll keep battling and ensuring that we try and pick up as many points as we can in his absence.
And George Reed came off early today. Was that planned, or was that an issue for him?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, no, I mean, we didn't want to take Reedy off because even at that point, I mean, he just nearly scored at the point we were taking him off. But the original plan was to play him anywhere between 30 and 60 minutes. The ideal was to get him beyond half time because, as Shauna rightly points out, that testing the stress of cooling down a little bit and then restarting is a good one to be measured, but it should mean the fact that we've done that, he's in a much better place for next week to play for a longer period of time. And it is frustrating because you want to keep your best players on the pitch, and for that there is a level of sacrifice, but for the greater good and the situation we're in at the moment, it's a sensible decision. So we trust in Shauna implicitly with her decision making in that, and we'll do everything that we're told to do, and it was absolutely the right decision.
Thank you very much, Dan. Cheers.
Cheers.